Where Europe touches Africa and the Atlantic meets the Mediterranean, you'll find Gibraltar, a small peninsula bursting with British charm, Mediterranean spirit, rich history and stunning views. We can't wait to take you along, so let's dive in and explore together. We're en route to Gibraltar, a tiny but fascinating peninsula connected by a thin band of land at the very tip of southern Spain, which is the main entrance and exit to the Mediterranean. Its location gives it a great strategic importance, controlling the narrow Strait of Gibraltar.
Well, good morning. It's the start of day 4, and today we've actually hit land off to my left hand side. I think it's the coast of Morocco, given the pings that are occurring on the phone, and we're making our way through to Gibraltar today, and we're expected to get into port around 1 o'clock. We've just been down for breakfast and had the same as I normally have, fruit salad and a full English, and Joanne had a fruit salad and a eggs benedict, but without the hollandaise sauce again. It's a lovely day, not too hot, not too cold, but I'm sure that Joanne would find something she doesn't like about it. But there's a nice breeze coming in, and it's just right. So the plan today is to stay in the room for the morning, probably do a bit of reading and catching up on a few things, and then when we get into port, probably take the bus into the centre of Gibraltar and then do our own thing.
We've been here before and have no pre-arranged tours. The plan is to see where our senses take us. It's famous for duty-free shopping, cosy pubs, sunny beaches and rich blend of cultures. But first it's time to get some lunch in before we actually disembark.
Well, I've made it down to lunch. Joanne has decided to be good, and I've just ordered up some steamed mussels, which sounds delicious. I think we're nearing Gibraltar now. I can see land outside the restaurant window. Should be there in about an hour's time.
The mussels I had for lunch were absolutely gorgeous. Not something I have very often, but I do love my mussels. And as a dessert I had a really nice traditional English sherry trifle, which was absolutely delicious. Joanne doesn't know what she's missing. Gibraltar is dominated by the iconic Rock of Gibraltar, a massive 1,300-foot limestone promontory rising from the water. From the top of the rock you can enjoy breathtaking views of both Spain and Morocco, making Gibraltar one of the few places where you can see two continents at once. I doubt we'll make our way quite that far today.
So we're just coming into Gibraltar, about to dock. It's an absolutely scorcher of a day. If I remember rightly, it was supposed to be 28 degrees. It's a very clear sky. Really, really hot, very nice. I've just been for a lovely lunch, really nice. Thoroughly enjoyed it, mussels and sherry trifle. Joanne, on the other hand, was being very well behaved.
Joanne decided that she would stay on the ship. She loves port days, and if we have nothing pre-arranged, she prefers to be on the ship when the crowds have left and she has the ship to herself. Now, Gibraltar is a taxi union port, so Cunard were unable to lay on a complimentary shuttle. We would have to use the port's chargeable bus, but that had some almighty queues for what is a 10-minute journey. So I decided to follow the rest of the crowds, taking about 15 minutes to reach the city walls. We enter Gibraltar City through the grand Casemates Gate that cuts through the line wall, which is the long defensive seawall running along the western shoreline of the old town. This takes us through to the grand Casemates Square, which is the main public square in Gibraltar and one of the most vibrant areas, known for its mix of history, dining, shopping and entertainment. The square takes its name from the Grand Casemates, a large 18th century bomb-proof barracks built by the British military. The area was once used for military parades and even the odd public execution. Today it's the heart of Gibraltar's social life, full of restaurants, bars and cafes with outdoor seating. I decided that I was actually going to try and climb as far up the rock as I could and see what I could find and see. I picked up a map from on board and the route looked relatively straightforward and simple, which was somewhat at odds with the rugged and majestic rock that I'd seen from the ship. Finding the roads in reality from the map was also difficult. In the end, I found this particular passageway, Castle Steps, and I decided that I'd go up it following the signs. Boy, was it steep. I'm heading for the Gibraltar Nature Reserve, which is known for its unique flora and fauna. Partway up was this gigantic octopus piece of street art. It was created in 2017 by Jessica Darch. Painting on a restored building, it generated controversy back in the day. Architects not getting the required building permits for it, which was later done retrospectively. At the top of Castle Steps you get great panoramic views, and whilst this is a cheap alternative, it does require some physical exertion to get up here. Still a steep incline to get to the start of the nature reserve and the Moorish Castle. I was looking forward to looking around the castle, but it was closed for renovations. The fortifications here were first built around 1160 and destroyed a couple of centuries later by the Spanish. The Tower of Homage dominates the hillside and was rebuilt around 1333 AD. It's another pretty steep incline to get up to this piece of street art, which marks the entrance to the Great Siege Tunnels. And this gives you more fantastic views over the Strait of Gibraltar, and we can actually see our ship off in the distance below. It was pretty hot now, and feeling in need of some respite, I decided to have a look in the tunnels, which would hopefully provide some shade or something interesting to look at, hopefully both. The entrance being hidden by numerous coaches. The £30 entrance fee to the nature reserve includes admission to the siege tunnels. Great Siege Tunnels are an incredible series of passageways dug into the northern end of the Rock of Gibraltar. They were carved out of solid limestone by the British during the Great Siege in the late 1700s, when France and Spain tried to take Gibraltar. The tunnels were created because the garrison needed a way to defend a hidden spot on the northeast side of the rock, and the only solution was to place a cannon on a rocky ledge called the Notch. Since there was no way to build a path to it, soldiers started tunnelling through the rock instead. The work was tough and slow, using little more than sledgehammers, crowbars and the occasional blast of gunpowder. It took 13 men 5 weeks to dig 82 feet. The job was made even harder by the smoke and dust from the blasts, but their efforts gave Gibraltar this unique system of defensive tunnels that we explore today. Tucked away inside Gibraltar's historic tunnels lies Spitfire Hall, a space that tells a remarkable story of resilience and community spirit. During the war, the people of Gibraltar came together to raise funds to purchase a Spitfire aircraft, a powerful symbol of their solidarity with the Allied forces. Today, Spitfire Hall has been transformed into a one-of-a-kind events venue. At the centre stands a striking replica of the Gibraltar Spitfire. During the Second World War, Gibraltar once again became a fortress of tunnels. The historic Great Siege Tunnels were brought back into use at this time, and whilst their exact role remains a mystery, evidence suggests that one of Gibraltar's searchlight generators may have been housed here. Traces of concrete mounting pads still remain. Massive new excavations were carried out so that the rock could support a garrison of 16,000 men, complete with enough food, water, fuel and ammunition to survive a year under siege. The tunnels were also expanded during the war. A new straight passage, the Holy Land Tunnel, was cut through to the east side of the rock, earning its name because it points in the direction of Jerusalem. Another addition was a steep staircase that connected the Great Siege tunnels with the lower Second World War tunnels, known as the Middle Galleries. However, unlike the sturdy 18th century tunnels, the wartime passages were dug quickly and without the same craftsmanship. As a result, many of them since crumbled and can no longer be safely explored. See from the stats here on the wall that the excavations during World War II carried on at a rate of 10 times those in the 18th century. And that's an example of what they used to do the tunnelling with. This is a Holman SL9 hand drill, dry, which was the original Royal Engineers drill. Walking through the tunnels transports you back to one of Gibraltar's most dramatic chapters of military history. It's a fascinating mix of ingenious engineering, intense battlefield moments, and sweeping views across the rock. Along the way you'll find realistic soldier displays and detailed information panels that bring the story to life, explaining the hardships of construction, the clever tactics used, life in the tunnels, and the wider history of the Great Siege and World War II. I didn't find it claustrophobic. It was really nice to get some shade from the heat of the day, and I could take in the tunnels entirely at my own pace, although navigation was a little bit of fun. With the small space in front of the tunnel's entrance being so dominated by coaches, I had expected to keep running into tourist crocodile lines down here, but that was not the case. There was actually plenty of space to take in the exhibits. This exhibit was a mock-up of a field hospital with its various patients. Fascinating. The insides of the tunnels are completely different. In some cases they're raw rock, in other places brick, and in some cases they've actually been plastered. As is normal, you exit through the ubiquitous gift shop. I managed to grab some cold water with the most unnecessarily and fiendishly difficult top to open. On leaving the tunnels, I decided to make my way up the hill to a little path that I'd seen on my trusty map. The view from here was absolutely fantastic, but the incline was quite steep, and it led up to some ruins at the top. These ruins were the old Willis magazine, and I think magazine in this sense means a storehouse. This structure was built by the British in the early 18th century. These days it's home to a number of exhibits showing what life was like during those periods, including what discipline was meted out using the cat of nine tails.
In an age before professional nurses and with minimal medical facilities, it was soldiers' wives who tended the sick and wounded.
In addition to the displays in the main building, there was a small cinema in another building round the side. I continued up higher in the search of my elusive path. Now, one of the things here is it sort of showed a path that went along here, but can I find it? No. And looking at the crevice in front of us, it doesn't look likely that the path will go across there. Google thinks that the Willis magazine is permanently closed, but I found otherwise. It was getting hotter and hotter, so I decided that I'd make my way down to the town, en route going to the Governor's Lookout Battery. This small area was completely besieged by coaches, but after about 5 minutes they all left. It offered views over the airport runway and to the other side of Gibraltar. Anyway, let's get back and go into town. When I got to Castle Steps, instead of going down the steps, I decided to keep going down the incline and to approach the town from a slightly different angle. On the way down, I spotted these Police Barracks from 1909. These are now apartments, but I love the way that they've combined the modern and the old architecture seamlessly. I continued down Castle Street past the Sacred Heart Church. This is not a busy road as far as tourists are concerned, but it looked like quite an amble to get down to the town centre, and that's where I was going to go. In Gibraltar you'll find a fascinating blend of both Spanish and English architectural details. Gibraltar has a superb range of shopping in the main street, and you can get duty free there on numerous items. There are also a number of well-known UK brands like Marks and Spencer's and Next, I believe I saw there. I stumbled on this little park which looked like the ideal place for a peaceful break from the bustling streets and the dramatic scenery of Gibraltar. It was created and opened in 2014 to mark the 60th anniversary of Queen Elizabeth II's coronation, and it is actually Gibraltar's largest public park. As you can see, it's beautifully landscaped with lush lawns, shady trees, colourful flower beds and winding pathways. But the thing that really sets it off for me is the series of ornamental ponds and fountains that help to create that really relaxing atmosphere. It is just outside the old city, at one end of Main Street, so it's easy to combine with shopping or sightseeing. The historic city walls provide a dramatic backdrop to this green sanctuary, and it offers a refreshing contrast to Gibraltar's military fortifications and rugged nature reserves. Time to be getting back to the ship, so I got on the elevator that takes you up to the street level and then through the tunnel that allows you to go under the road. Located on Main Street, directly opposite the Law Courts, is the meeting place of Gibraltar's Parliament. Sessions are held in a chamber within the Old Exchange and Commercial Library, a historic 19th century building, the structure being repurposed in 1969 when Parliament was established to serve as a debating chamber. I was struck by how accessible the building was. It was then a quick walk back up to Casemates Square, the rock rising majestically above it. I hadn't actually made it all the way up to the top of the rock, probably got about halfway up, and I enjoyed that time. Getting back to the port was simply a case of retracing my footsteps. It was well signposted and you just followed the signs, and it wasn't that busy actually.
This looks nice. Tempura prawn. I forgot what the other thing was. Let's have a...
It's lovely.
Oh, that looks nice. Thank you. My favourite. Yes.
So, what have we got here? We got prawn tempura, and I'm not sure what this is. Obviously a fish cake of some description, but I'm not sure what it is. Actually, it tastes like salmon. Very nice, very nice. So what have you got there?
Butternut squash soup. Very nice. Lovely. Very sweet.
Golden beetroot, lemon and ginger, I think it is. Yeah, it's nice.
No, you can't do this with just a fork. This is a butter chicken curry. You're going to like this.
Am I? What is it?
Butter chicken curry, lovely. Really nice.
So as Joanne suggested, I'm rather partial to a curry. This is a chicken. In fact, it was your answer last night at Fizz.
It was.
What keeps your romance going?
Making him a curry.
Making him a curry. That's lovely.
Yeah.
Really, really nice.
I'm in for a good night, folks. I've got chocolate on a Delice. Delice. I think that might be caramel. Oh, that'll be the Delice, like in Argentina. It's like a sort of chocolate mousse. And the Delice. It's like the Dulce de Leche, isn't it?
Yeah.
That we had in Argentina. So that's very nice. Yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
Enjoy.
Get something.
Lovely.
I've gone for the white chocolate and saffron cream.
What's the green?
Saffron cream.
Yes, what's
I haven't actually found the saffron cream yet.
that pistachio? Green. No wonder Dobby bits.
It is very nice, actually. I sometimes struggle to work out from the description what they're going to look like, but they always taste nice. That's the main thing. Every day we get a different choice of petit foie. Well, hello. We left Gibraltar about 3 hours ago, and we're making good time as we steam off towards Barcelona. But the time's relatively short, so we haven't had a chance to fill you in on the doings that we've been doing today. Joanne?
Hello.
She actually went up to the Commodore Lounge.
I did my favourite thing. Everybody gets off the ship. Sorry, I've just been outside, so my glasses have not reacted quick enough to inside again. I went up to the Commodore Lounge and I read my book, and everybody else, well, no, not everybody, lots of people were up there actually, because it was so hot and you had a long walk to get anywhere, and I decided, no, I'm not doing that. So Stevie went off on his own and I read my book.
Yes, and I went to explore Gibraltar. And
We have been before.
I have been before, but I never really... Well, we've been twice, actually, I think, before.
I did it when I was younger.
Yeah, I think, if I remember rightly, we did it twice. On one occasion, we actually went up and did the sort of full sightsee tour of the Rock. And on another occasion, I think we just went into the town and purchased some tax-free goods, if I remember rightly.
You bought a camera once, I think, didn't you, for Molly?
For Molly. On this occasion, you are much lower than you normally are.
I'm not. I have the
Right.
Okay.
On this occasion, I decided that I'd actually see if I could get some of the way up the Rock. I wanted to go to the Moorish Castle. And it was absolutely baking. And by the time I'd actually got to the Moorish Castle, I'd actually was melting. Let's put it like that. So I then decided the Moorish Castle was closed. It's being renovated at the moment. So
you went out there for nothing, really.
Well, yeah, you could say that. But I did then decide that I'd actually do the tunnels. Partly because I was hoping to get some respite from the sun.
And what was in the tunnel?
There wasn't a lot in there. There's a dummy model of a Spitfire. I mean, the tunnels are a superb piece of engineering, and it's, you know, when you look at actually what was done and what was undertaken in order to create them, it's miraculous. You know, it was a real feat of engineering and manual work to actually create them.
I found a really nice park. I think it was the Commonwealth Park, which was built in about 2014, and that had a nice amount of shade and some water features. That was really nice.
Did you take any water with you?
No, I bought water at the tunnels.
So you bought some water and you could have
Yeah.
taken it with you?
I could have, yeah, but then I'd have had to hump and lump it, you know, and I prefer to sort of buy it as I'm going around, so I'm not carrying so much weight. And then I looked around the main shopping areas and had a sort of bit of a browse and came back to the ship. And we also had a really nice meal, you know, absolutely lovely.
Very nice meal.
Particularly the curry. Now,
Yeah.
the way to my heart is through a curry. And that
Make me a
was,
curry and I can get whatever I want.
yeah, and she usually does.
Do.
But this was a buttery chicken curry, and it was really, really nice. And also, the desserts were nice as well, weren't they?
They were.
You know.
Yes.
So, had a thoroughly...
Some wine as well.
Yeah, yes, yeah. Joanne had wine and
Yeah.
a little bit more wine, and
No, I had 2 glasses, but that's well enough for me.